So HMD launched this new touchscreen feature phone, or they call it the hybrid phone. So by hybrid, they meant the phone is not meant to replace your smartphone, but it can definitely replace your old keypad phones. So I have been using it for a month, and here everything you need to know before you decide to purchase. So coming to the design, this is definitely the highlighting part of this phone. Although it might remind you of the old Nokia Asha series phone, however, the battery isn't removable, and this only adds to its premium feeling. You have a power button and volume toggle on the right side, SIM card slot on the left which supports dual SIM and SD card up to 32 GB. On top, we have a headphone jack and a multifunction key, and at the bottom we get the Type-C slot and microphone. At front we have a 2.5D curved 3.2-inch display, speakers and a 0.3 megapixel selfie camera. And finally, the back has a 2 megapixel camera and a LED flash inside this Lumia-like camera housing. The 3.2-inch screen has a resolution of 240 by 320, which makes text and images look pixelated. For casual YouTube videos or shorts, it's possible only if you don't have any alternative at hand. But what surprised me was how bright the display is. There are 7 levels of brightness, and indoors 2 or 3 level is enough. Even in the bright outdoors, it is quite easily legible. The display's touch response is actually quite responsive, but there is no multi-touch support. Still, the tapping experience isn't that bad if you only slow down a bit. And below the display, there's a capacitive touch home button, and is also quite responsive and looks quite good. Now, the earpiece is also the phone speaker. I think it's a very wise design choice in my opinion. Now, coming to the sound experience, it is quite loud and clear, so you won't miss your phone's ringtones. There's very less bass, which was expected, but overall it's not that bad at all. The volume rocker makes it a lot easier to adjust the 9 levels of loudness. And as per the name HMD Touch 4G, the phone supports all the major LTE bands in India. There's also voice over LTE calling, and it's actually pretty loud and clear. There is no proximity sensor. However, after taking a call, the screen goes blank and you can wake it with a single tap, which I think is pretty intuitive. Additionally, we can record calls with a single tap or enable the auto call record from the settings. 4G data can be used to browse the internet using Opera Mini browser, which for some reason does not support Google Images. I hope HMD will update the browser with an update. 4G data is also mandatory if you want to make video calls. Yes, you can use the HMD Express Chat app to chat and make video calls. Video calls, however, are only partial as you cannot see yourself, which I think is quite weird. Also, not to mention the Express Chat app on Android is a mess, as you can tell by its rating. It's very bare bones user interface, like it's meant for only feature phone use. You can share emojis and pictures, which is at least nice. As the phone is quite compact, we get a small 1900 mAh battery. However, due to the compactness and lower resolution screen, it lasts easily for multiple days. However, if you keep the Wi-Fi and data on, then it's going to last only half of that. You can check the battery percentage from the settings and power management option. There's also a power setting mode. I suggest you keep this auto power on off option enabled to avoid the phone's overnight idle battery drain, which is about 4 to 5%. Charging the phone takes 2 plus hours, but it lasts long, so I don't think there's an issue. So like the new generation of HMD and Nokia phones, we get support for cloud apps. And honestly, the bigger screen makes the experience much better compared to the feature phones. We get apps like Amazon, Google Gemini, Facebook, YouTube, Google Maps, X, weather, and etc. The phone also supports GPS, however, there is no turn by turn navigation support. but you do get the general idea of where you're going, so at least you won't get lost. Also, you can sign in with your Google account to access YouTube, YouTube Music, and Google Maps. Same goes for Amazon and X. So 10 and 15 years old Nokia phones had such great graphics games. And then we have the modern feature phones. I get it, we have smartphones now, but at least give one decent looking game. Like even the Snake game looks outdated in front of the Snake 3D we had back in the day. Maybe even an Asphalt title would have been great at least. I mean, look at this Geophone running on iOS. At least it has some decent looking games. So while using it long term, I noticed an issue with the screen's backlight timeout. You can choose between 15 seconds to up to 5 minutes. However, that also applies to the notifications as well. So if I set it to 15 seconds and a notification arrives, it's going to stay awake for 15 seconds, and the same goes for 5 minutes as well. And it becomes quite annoying as it definitely drains your battery. Now, while the speaker sound was fine, the sound quality through headphones are sadly not great. It lacks any depth and deep bass. Surprisingly, even the HMD's Nokia 3210 speakers and headphone output are much better despite the phone's smaller size. I'm sure the users who wanted to use it as an MP3 player will be disappointed. But that's not all. The biggest downside and a potential deal breaker is the lack of any UPI or payments app, which is quite surprising seeing how many keypad phones, including HMD's own, have that. They should really add that with an update soon. Lastly, I wanted to add that the phone app isn't unified and there's a separate calls log app if you want to check your missed calls, incoming and outgoing calls, etc. Wrapping up, the inclusion of Google Maps and GPS does make it a compelling option. However, the lack of any UPI payments app keeps me from recommending it as a primary phone, at least for now. So that was my full review of the HMD Touch 4G. Let me know if you have any more questions, and I'll see you in the next one.